Good morning. Good morning. Are y'all ready?
Yes.
Everybody ready? Yes. Hey, good morning to everyone that is tuning in on YouTube across the country. Wanted to do this state of the company just to kind of give everyone an update of what's going on at Realty of America. So that's why we're doing this. So really quickly, this is actually day 70 that we've been open for business. So we launched Realty of America September 13th, and today is day 70, and I just kind of wanted to let the agents know what we're doing, what's going on, what's in progress, accomplishments, what states are open, what states are in progress, and what states are not open. Stuff we're working on the tech side, obviously events, and any of that stuff. So to start with is we've had an incredible 70 days. We've grown immensely in California, in Texas, and Illinois. We're closing business. And Mark and I have literally crisscrossed the country to talk to agents across the country, talk to them about the dream, and then obviously for them to join Realty of America. And as you're seeing, all our videos going out now of them expanding and joining Realty of America. One thing that I will be doing now is that Mark will be in charge of growth. So Mark Demas out of Houston, Texas, and I will be taking a step back and taking the reins as CEO of the company. I'll be spending about majority of my time in Chicago, working on operations, building on that team, and making sure that we're also providing a first-class experience to our agents, not just in Chicago, but across the country. So you'll be seeing me here a lot in Chicago. I still will travel the country for launches and if it's a big meeting that I have to be at, but my goal is to spend 90% of the time here in Chicago till we get this big machine up and running. So thank you for joining us. Next slide, please. Okay, so cities that are fully open right now that have done business, that have listings: Sacramento, California, Temecula, California, Los Angeles, San Diego, Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Houston, Chicago, and I had to include Berwyn on there, right? It's one of our biggest cities. So big congrats to everybody. This is where we are licensed. This is where we have designated brokers. This is where there's pending transactions. This is where there's listings outside in a neighborhood, all blue, ROA, and again, in 70 days, this is what we've been able to accomplish together. So give yourselves a big hand, and then go on to the next slide. So we just got a new state alert. So Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona was launched. I feel like I'm doing elections, but so we got word that, so there's a step process, right? We identify a state we want to be in, then we identify a team that will anchor that state, and then we have to interview a designated broker that will oversee the state. Once we have those pieces, then we go in for the state license. So in this state, we got the firm license. We interviewed a few designated brokers. We hired our designated broker, which is Courtney. Then we brought on our first big team that had transitioned to another company, had a conversation with him at a taqueria, and he stopped from transitioning to that company, and he is one of our founding teams there. Massive team. He used to own a brokerage with 200 agents. So just an amazing guy. His name's Omar. So we are now fully open in Arizona, and that only happened 2 days ago, and we already yesterday was day one, and in day one we already have 8 agents that fully onboarded. We should have another 10, so that is what's happening in Arizona. So we're excited about that, and then go on to the next one. So yesterday, as I landed in Washington, D.C. to do a speech there, we got word that we also got the firm license for Washington, D.C. So we are in the process of opening the DMV, which is Delaware, Maryland, and D.C. We have Maryland, we have D.C., we need Virginia. So we are waiting for Virginia. So now Mr. Andres Serafini, which is a mega luxury agent that did about $200 million last year, He will be anchoring that region. He's in the process right now of closing a $300 million transaction. So he focuses on luxury houses, $8 million, $10 million, $20 million houses. He's actually going to be teaching a class right after my class. So his class is called Breaking into Luxury. So Andres Serafini, you'll find him on the Work Vivo. If you're not on Work Vivo, you need to jump on Work Vivo. We're going to start giving out free roll-a-bears there, free for sale signs on there, free swag. So if you're not on Work Vivo, you need to join Work Vivo, which is our community platform. We will be shutting down Team Rock, which we have about 500 members. We are shutting that down in 60 days. 60 days. So y'all have to migrate into our community platform, because what we have right now is we have a fractured system where we have Team Rock, we have Team San Diego, we have this, we have that. We all have to kind of come in under one platform so that we can have better communication. So 60 days, we're thinking that by the end of January. That way you guys have enough time to slowly transition, but that will be shutting down. So please get on there and join the fun. So next one. Okay, these are states that our legal team went in there and already we have approved licenses. So we have an approved license in Kansas, in Missouri, Indiana, and Maryland. But right now we are currently interviewing designated brokers. So again, that's just the process. So now you guys know what cities we're in, where we're closing business, new states that just came online, cities that are coming in, and then also these are the next ones to come. And we anticipate, we interviewed a designated broker from Missouri and Kansas. I'm assuming that we will then send them a contract to fully come on as designated brokers for Realty of America. So if I had to guess, Missouri and Kansas should be up and running by Wednesday of next week. Indiana, I think we interviewed a designated broker, but we're unsure if we're going to go with that person. We might be interviewing more people, but obviously it's imperative for us to open what? Indiana and Wisconsin, because that's our region. So we do a lot of business cross. And then the beautiful thing here is that because Realty of America, if you do business in 2 or 3 or 4 states, it's only one cap. So your $14,000 cap, if you do $7,000 in Indiana, $5,000 in Wisconsin, or the rest in Illinois, it just counts as one. You don't have to do different caps in different cities or in different states. Okay, so that's why we're in obviously we want to open Indiana and Wisconsin. So these will be coming in, and then obviously Maryland's part of the DMV. So that's what's up and coming. The next one. And then these are state licenses where agents across the country had said, hey, I have friends, I have teams, I have people that we have. Like we have a massive team in Oregon. We have a lot of people in Utah. We have a big team in Colorado. Obviously, Wisconsin, we have a big player in Wisconsin. And Virginia is for Andres. Florida is the state with the biggest amount of licenses, real estate licenses. There's currently 220,000 agents in Florida, which makes it the #1 state where there's more realtors, but it's almost kind of misleading because a lot of those licenses are dual licenses. So licenses from the East Coast, licenses from California, licenses from the Midwest. So a lot of people will say, hey, in the winter months, I'll go to Florida and I sell real estate in Florida. So a lot of those are not real licenses, but either way, we are eagerly awaiting to open Florida. That would be the next big state. We're already in California, which is the second biggest, Texas, obviously Illinois. Once we take Florida, that would be kind of like the top 4 states in the country. So this is the stuff where we don't have licenses yet. They're already pending. Our legal team's looking into it. Once we get those firm licenses, then we're interviewing designated brokers. Then we identify big teams, which we already have big teams in Oregon, Colorado, Utah, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Virginia. We would only have to identify a big team in Florida. So that is where Realty of America is at right now. That way you guys know. Next one. So closed business, again, and when the big teams transition in California, in Illinois, in Texas, even though we transitioned a few weeks ago, you guys were still closing out business. Why? Because it was pending at Realty of Chicago. They were pending at Mark Demas Properties. They were pending somewhere else. So they were still closing the deals. These are numbers of deals that went in under Realty of America and have officially closed with Realty of America. So 133 closings since we've opened for $56 million across the country. And we anticipate that for the following month, because all new businesses coming into Realty of America, it should go to 100 million. Right at 100 million, and we keep at that pace, that's $1 billion. So once we get to 200 million, that's $2 billion. Once we get all our systems up and running in the spring, which is our goal, right? Because once spring market comes in, we want to be hitting $200 to $300 million a month in business across the country. So, and that's the reason why I'm stepping back from growth, and Mark will lead the growth. And I want to make sure that all their systems, all the operations are in place, so when spring market comes, that we're ready. Because that's going to be an onslaught of listings, closings, pendings. I mean, just think about how fast we're expanding and growing. And again, this is all in 70 days. Next one. This is pending. So we looked at the numbers across the country. We have 149 transactions that are currently under contract across the country for an estimated value of about $62 million. So again, we want this number to grow to $250 million, $300 million in pending. So once we all become operational, once we're all on our work vivo and close, and everyone understands sky slope, then this is what we're doing. This is what we're all collectively building. That's why we're all working extra hard to make sure that we grow these numbers. But I wanted to give you some transparency and tell you, hey, this is what's going on right now at Realty of America. You know, you guys should all be very, very proud, because I don't know of a company that in 70 days has been able to accomplish all this. Right? Just like all the paperwork across the country, all the systems. I mean, just to even say, hey, if we would open only in 2 cities, would have been a great achievement. And then just to get all these amazing individuals, all these leaderships, we have currently 50 to 60 trainings a month going on right now. So, and we're also adding more leadership to the team to make sure that we can come in and just excel at a higher level. Next. Also, we started paying rev share yesterday, and we will finish completing paying revenue share today. 54 agents across the country received their first revenue share check. The biggest revenue share check that was issued was for about $8,400. And that is first ever revenue share. So again, 70 days open for business. We issued our first revenue share check. Checks are going out. And just incredible that we were even able to receive, to issue this many checks, and people that have already onboarded people, attracted people. So just, this is what's going on. Next one. All right, so a few things that are coming soon. Leads, I know Chicago already knows this, but I wanted to let the rest of the agents across the country know, is that we did ink a massive deal with one of the biggest banks in the country, where they will be giving us pre-approved leads for us to close. There is a standard to be in that program. You need 2 years, at least 2 years in real estate, and you have to have closed at least 20 transactions in that time. I'm trying to get clarification if leases are included in that 20, or if they want only transactions, real estate transactions. So that is we got that contract for San Diego, Sacramento, Milwaukee, Kansas City, Chicago, and I'm missing one more. And then if we do good in this program, then we could expand to another 5, 10 cities. So that's a great achievement. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on an incredible website that we worked on for maybe 7 months. A team of 15 developers have been working on that. We had to put that to the side because we were trying to make sure that we integrated all the technology as we were launching. But now that we are fully operational, we're going to be spending some time and money to finish that up. So we anticipate that by the new year, we'll have our front-facing client website where people can go in there, IDX, search for houses, and generate more leads for the agents as well. And that would also be able to give you your own personal website too. It'll have an agent directory. It'll just have stuff. It'll have blogs, stuff that's going on across the country. So that will be our Realty of America website that, again, we're anticipating having ready for New Year's, maybe as your Christmas gift. Our real estate show is launching December 13th here. The first person we're bringing on board is Mr. Chad Smith. He's from Dallas, Texas. I just did his jet video, if you guys saw it. He's done about $1.6 billion, 6,000 transactions. But above all, he's such an amazing human. He's a great father, a great leader, a great coach. He runs his own coaching platform. And when I met him for the first time, I was like, man, that's an agent that I would love to have on the team. Because when you bring people like that, it just raises the level for everyone. Also, I spoke to him in Dallas, Texas. He will be coming on the leadership team and handling education. But that will be a formal announcement later. But just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek because he's just, 17, 20 years in the business, and he's literally focused more on education and coaching throughout his whole career. Great person. So when he said yes and he took that on, we were excited to have him on the leadership team. Mindset Summit. We have our first Mindset Summit out of Houston, Texas. It's going to be December 5th. We have a 1,500 person auditorium, and we're going to have maybe 14, 15 speakers flying in from across the country, celebrities, boxers, baseball players. Elio Alanis will be headlining that. He hasn't announced that because he hasn't announced that he left his old brokerage. So we're doing a video for him. That'll be the next video that's coming up. He's a massive player, 23 years old, already closed he's closing 300 homes this year. Just bought a massive 5-acre or 10-acre property where he's going to be building his own office in Houston. They call him the Baby Dimas, so he's the up-and-coming superstar that will be taking over Mark Dimas' place. So he will be headlining that Mindset Summit. And we're going to have 23 of these events across the country. So we are going to bring it back to Chicago as well. So, and then last but not least, our turkey giveaway event, which is this Monday. I know that the Chicago team, the teams in California, Texas, across the country have been working really, really hard. Again, only open for 70 days, and we're already launching this national event. So that's something that all of us should be super proud of because that's going to be, I don't know of too many companies that have done that specifically, making that a priority when we have so many other priorities. We want to make sure that we still kept that tradition going and that we gave back. Here in Chicago, we're expanding it not just to 5 areas, but to our 6th location, to the South Shore of Chicago. So that's going to be exciting as well. And hopefully you guys join us and volunteer across the country because we do need a lot of volunteers. Here in Chicago, if you guys want to go and get the turkeys with us, that will be 12 o'clock. Reach out to your managers. And if you want to come a little later just to help with logistics at the offices, that would be between probably 3 to 4 p.m. And it'll probably run to 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a nice long day. Make sure you guys wear jackets here in Chicago. San Diego is going to have beautiful weather. So, they're spoiled, but that's good for them. And what did I miss? I think, are we it with that one? Go on to the next one. Yeah, so that was the state of the company. We're going to be having these more often just to make sure that we let the agents know what's going on at Realty of America, what we're doing behind the scenes, what we're working on, what's our priority, how we're making this company better, how all the leadership team is working extra hard. I spoke with Max this morning. I said, hey, did you get any sleep? He's like, maybe 2 hours. And I told Max, hey, you have to get some sleep. Make sure you're rested because we need you. And then they're telling me the same thing. Hey, Eddie, how did you sleep? I was like, I slept a few hours. I was like, hey, we need you to eat and rest because we need you as well. So leadership team is working extra hard to make this an incredible company because we have one goal. Our goal is to make this one of the best real estate companies in the country. And our goal is to go public. That is the goal. That's the reason why all these incredible, successful agents across the country have joined forces under one roof because that's the win. So hopefully you guys like that one. Thank you so much. And then now we're going to get into the Friday Mastermind. So thank you guys for coming. It's a packed house. I was in Washington, D.C. yesterday. It's the first time I fly into a city and I fly back same day. And my flight was delayed 3 times. I was scared that I might have made it. But I always get energized when I come and see all these beautiful faces and eager that you guys are here. So thank you for joining me. All right, let's go a little bit what we spoke about yesterday, last Friday. What did we talk about last Friday?
Hero versus victim.
We spoke about hero versus victim. Did anyone change their lifestyle last week? Brenda, what did you do?
No, I'm just kidding.
Huh? What did you change?
I'm trying to put more hours into real estate.
So she said that she's trying to put more hours into real estate because she wants to better her business. She wants to be successful. She wants to be a proud businesswoman. She wants to get more listings. She wants to get more buyers. She wants to be an incredible agent. And that's the reason why she reached out to Jocelyn. That's the reason why she's collaborating on social media. That's why she's posting more. That's why she's posting less gym, posting more about real estate, going to more open houses. You see how I have that connection? I already know what she wanted to say, but yes. But keep building. Who else improved their life last week?
The hero.
Hey, Magali, can we get a mic so that way they can hear what YouTube can hear what they're saying? And give it to Magali so that way she just runs around and gives it to people. Give us a second. We'll get this up and running. Huh? Ahí vente, Magali, aquí. Okay, so what did you adjust to change your week?
Yeah, so I had a really interesting week. I had a closing scheduled for Thursday and Tuesday, 2 days before. We just had a really big $25,000 curveball thrown at us where the seller had to pony up an extra $25,000 after we had price reducted $36K from the original price. So, thank God for that price reduction because we're still winning. But point of the story is I decided to go with a hero mentality instead of playing the victim and thinking of blaming everybody else for not catching this or not catching that.
Why don't you stand up and look at the camera right there? That way you tell them. Because, you're telling me a story. But no, right there, back up. Right there, the camera's back there.
What's
So
up,
hero
online
mentality.
world?
Start at the hero mentality versus...
Yeah,
versus,
so last week we talked about hero versus victim mentality, and that played a part in my life last week because, like I said, I had a closing and just had a really big curveball where at first just my whole energy and mentality went down the drain. Thankfully, I had a mastermind with All Day and a couple other colleagues where we were reminded about the hero mentality and not blaming others, but finding a solution for the situation. So at first it was really easy to blame other agents or blame other attorneys or why didn't this get caught before? So instead of jumping into that mentality and completely deterring my deal, was decided to go with the hero mentality of how do I find a solution? How do I teamwork with this agent? How do I make it so that even though you're throwing me this humongous curveball, we still get to the finish line?
All right, so let me jump in here because this is something that I did so many, when I sold 104 houses, I closed probably 98%, 99% of all my houses because that's the mentality that I had. Anyone that tells you they don't have issues in their deals is lying to you. Every single transaction has curveballs.
Literally.
Every single transaction, there's no one else to go to. It's only you. You're going to have to make a decision, but your mindset is what's going to help you achieve that success. If you believe that I'm having such a bad day, or you know what this, or you know what that, you know what, just the whole world is against me. The whole world's against me, and real estate sucks. And real estate sucks, and you know what, I'm just going to go look for an Uber job, or I'm going to go work at Costco. Nothing wrong with those jobs. But that is a victim mentality. A hero mentality sees a problem, and a hero will act on it right away. A victim will go to sleep, go under the covers, and hope that someone else solves that problem. But that's how you lose transactions. That's where the whole thing of time kills deals. A hero mentality will pick up the phone, call the attorney, call the loan officer, figure out a deal, try to close the gap, try to fix the transaction. What can we do? Bring all the players to the table. Does that mean cutting commission? Does that mean cutting attorney fees? Does that mean cutting title fees? Does that mean having the lender pitch into the deal? That is a hero. A realtor that will become a top producer is always a leader. You will never become a top producer if you're not a leader, because you need to be able to lead a team to all have the same vision to let's figure this out. Also, too, you will always find out that the other agent will probably be more emotional than you, because if you're the emotional one, then you're in bad luck. And that's why I said, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, if you can't control your emotions, you will never really have true success. You have to control your emotions, because now you're in business. You want to be in a relationship and let your emotions run wild? That's up to you, but that also relationship won't be well. So in business, you have to control your emotions, and that's part of the hero mentality. As soon as something happens, I could be sad, I could be mad, I could be frustrated, but that's not going to fix anything. That's called a tantrum. You need to get on it. Hey, Mark, what's going on? How can we solve this? How can we bring this together? Nope, this is not falling apart. What do we need to do to get this done? Whether you have to drive to their office, whether you have to fly to see them, whatever it takes, you do it. And the sooner you do it, the better. And that's the reason, I haven't heard the story, but assuming he fixed it. Tell us how you fixed it. Look at the camera.
Yes, correct. So we literally jumped on the phones that same day, spent the next 4 or 5 hours coming up with a solution, running numbers, making sure the deal still worked. And after all that, having calls with everybody on board at the same time, we now have closing set for Tuesday. So
there you go. So boom. Hey, wait. How much was that worth? How much is your check going to be?
it's gonna be like 4K. It's not a big one, but still.
But you know what? Even I love
It's
that.
a repetitive. It's actually a customer that I closed a house on 10 months ago for his first purchase ever, and is now investing. And now because of this deal that we are closing, he's doing cash. He's already reached out to a lender to get pre-approved to buy a second investment property next month.
What he's talking about is being a boss. He understands that this deal is only $4,000. And you will find that the deals where you like struggle the most are the ones that you make very little money. I spoke last Friday about a deal that took us like almost 1.5 years to sell, that once we close it, we are gonna lose money. We probably lost like 14K just in payroll, but we still closed it because we still follow through on it, right? That's more of what your values are. But this young man said, hey, here, I don't care if it's only 4,000. I'm still going to be a hero. I'm still going to lead. I'm still going to call the attorneys. I'm still going to figure this issue out and come to the table and close it, because he understands that if he closes that deal, he's going to get another referral. Just the pie gets bigger. I'll share a story. Martin, he shared this story a few years ago. He's like, man, I just closed this transaction for like $41,000. The commission check was, I don't know, $750, whatever it was. He still helped them, respected them, gave them first class, experience, like if he was buying $1 million house. But guess what? That person might have been, the least wealthiest person in the family. But when he closed that deal and he said, man, nobody wanted to help me, and Martin did, he referred his brother. And his brother listed like a $1.2 million property in the north side. Martin sold it. Obviously got paid big money, but that's how the world works. That's why you gotta have the hero mentality, even when it's a low paycheck, because you never know where that goes. So great job. All right, one more. And anyone else? Brett Decker, what's going on? Give him the mic. You got to look at the camera, Brett, not me.
Come over. Thank you.
Here.
By
the way, this man right here, he is the current president for the Women's Council of Realtors. So give him a hand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, and since we have a lot of ladies here, we need ladies to step up, because since no ladies stepped up, this young man had to be the president for the Women's Council of Realtors. So come on, there's something there. But go ahead. What did you?
So it was a nice $600,000 deal, and I'm a lender, so they had an overlay, a stupid overlay, and this deal got denied, and I literally curled up in a ball on my couch and was just like, what am I gonna do? And then I thought of Eddie. It was actually that same day, last Friday, and I was like, you know what? I got to do it right away. I can't let this go over the weekend. I can't do anything. My go-to other lender, the rates were higher, going to cut half my commission. I'm like, I don't want to lose half my commission either. And I searched through my database, found another lender, got it all submitted. Everything's good. And the hardest part was you needed that hero mentality when you talk to the client, because I got to have them sign new disclosures, do a little more, not much more, but still, I got to explain this to them. And if I explained it with, it's my victim, this, that, I was just, hey, no big deal, this is how it happens. We got a solution, blah, blah, blah. I came off and it's not going to cost you anymore. We got everything the same. They're like, okay, no problem. So it was amazing. So thank you. And then, honestly, another thing, the Ford system, those role plays were so amazing, deep, deep, deep. Just last night, I was at Casino Royale. I was at a Chicago Association of Realtors event, and I just started talking to somebody and digging, and I got to know that person more than I ever would have. And they're an assistant to a really important person, so they really helped me out. It was really nice to get to know someone on a different level. It really, I've had things to talk about.
Thank you for getting ahead of the class, but thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
So we spoke about the hero and victim mentality, which, as you can see, can literally change your life in many ways, in your personal life, in your family life, and in your business life. But we're here to talk about business. So make sure that when you have an issue today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it comes in, make sure you handle it as a hero and you go after it right away. Don't go under the covers. Don't go on social media. Don't go talk to your friends about like, oh, how my life is so bad. Ignore that. Talk about like, hey, how can we fix this issue? I would call my friends and be like, hey, how can we fix this? Typically, the way I solve my issues is I deal with them by myself. I deal with them by myself, and I'll tell God, like, man, come on, give me the strength to figure this out. How can I solve it? Okay, boom, 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 boom. All right, boom, I'm going here, I'm doing there. So just, but also, too, it could be that, hey, I can, and then once I solve my issues, kind of like 80%, then I go and talk to people that I love and respect. Be like, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? What do you think we could do here? Etc. Not the best approach. I'm just saying that's the approach that works for me. But you guys have to figure it out. So just make sure that you guys attack the problem. Let's say you get a deal that was going to close and it gets canceled. Let's say you don't get a listing. Just whatever the scenario is. An appraisal comes in low. You got to attack it like a hero. All right, the next thing that we spoke about last week was about the Ford system, which is what Brett spoke about, which makes me really happy to hear that people are actually using these techniques in their real life to help them become better salespeople and better humans. So the Ford system for me for a long time has been a blessing. It helps me organize my thoughts. What should I say? What I shouldn't say? And the Ford system is easy. It's family, it's occupation, it's recreation, and dreams. And there's a good way, using the Ford system is 10 times better than not using it. But you know what's 100 times better? Is using it the right way, like Brett spoke about. About family, tell me about your family. You got 2 kids, what are their names? What school do they go to? What do they want to do? You have pictures. I always love doing that. Can I see a picture of the baby? Boom. I've never met a parent that doesn't want to show you a picture of their kid. And then you see the pictures. Oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful. Even though I have no kids, I can still relate to that. So you don't have to have kids to be relatable when, to someone that has kids. And remember that most of the people that are going to buy and sell are going to have kids. That's the reason why they're probably buying a house. So you go super deep on, I would say 7 levels. Go 7 levels on each word. And then occupation. What do you do for a living? Oh, you're a flight attendant? Awesome. How long? What school did you have to do that? I always wanted to be a pilot. Oh, where are you going now? You're going to Phoenix? Great. How many cities you travel a week? 15. That's amazing. Oh, can you fly for free? I heard you have a buddy pass. This, that, right? Just go deep, 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 deep. That's occupation. What do you like to do for fun? I like to travel to Jackson Hole. You like to travel to Jackson Hole? Man, that's amazing. I love Grand Teton. I love this. Why do I love Grand Teton? I love it for the mountains. I love it for the bears, the moose, the buffalo. I like taking my nieces and nephews every Thanksgiving. I like taking them during July. I want to retire in Jackson Hole, right? You get to know me on a really deep level. I start sharing photos like, hey, look at this, look at that. So, and then when you're done with their dreams, where's your 5-year goal? Where's your 3-year goal? Where do you see yourself next year? What's this? What's that? Then now you take that information, and whether it's a buyer, a seller, or it's a friendship, or you're trying to build something, then you can use that and build on that, and you really get to know the person in 5-10 minutes. So that's the Ford. What else did we talk about last week?
The schedule.
Schedule. Has anyone changed their schedule? What did you do?
Trying to get
Hey, give my man the mic. He's looking good today.
Dang. I think
No, yeah, look at the camera.
the biggest thing for me was just trying to be more consistent with the times that I was prospecting to my clients, and then obviously trying to take Javier all days best practices and doing more open houses. So reaching out to like some of the bigger teams, you know, to try to get some stuff on Tuesday. I think that was my biggest takeaway.
Okay, and tell us did you make a phone call to a producer on Tuesday?
I did, but I didn't have a lot of luck because I had my own open house already scheduled that weekend, so just not a lot of time.
Okay. Did anyone have any luck with changing their schedule? Enrique, give him the mic. Thank you. Hugo. You probably can come this way because the camera's going to be very close to you. You come this way?
Sure.
All right, there. Turn around.
Hi guys. So I'm pretty big on marketing on social media. And what I did is I created a lot of my content in one day, and the same day I scheduled it for the week. So this whole week, everything that you saw was automatically posted.
All right. So let's do a selfish. How can we follow you on Instagram?
You can follow me on Instagram, Enrique Keeps It Realty.
All right, awesome. All right, so then your big change was what? You just automated all your social media?
Yeah, it just gave me so much of my time back. And automatically scheduling it, I got 4 leads this week.
So maybe
listing appointment later today.
hey, so I'm assuming that they were all free. It just costed you time.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe he could do a class later. Maybe have David.
December
we'll add it
10th.
later
December
for December, so you can do a nice social media class on how to automate your stuff. I know that my team automates my social media posts. I don't physically do it, but if you can automate it through a program, that'd be great because then it'll save you a lot of time. You don't got to wake up that extra early. It just goes on there. By the time you open your second eye, you're like, oh yeah, awesome, I got a lead. So, Michelle.
Your insights change. Have you noticed a difference in your insights?
Oh, definitely.
Repeat the question. So she asked, she wants to know if the insights change once, because on a social media post, once you run it for business, it'll give you insights on like, hey, who's actually looking at your stuff? Is it followers? Is it non-followers? How many seconds are the videos being watched, et cetera, et cetera. But that answer that quickly, and then we gotta get going.
Sure. Actually, I learned this from Yesenia. Posting more property videos early in the day, more educational or entertaining videos in the afternoon. I'm getting more engagement, collaborating with other people too, getting way more views. Went from like 500-ish views to now like 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah,
That's good. And remember, views is what matters because views means more eyeballs. More eyeballs means more potential people that are going to call you to what? To bake cakes or to sell real estate?
so real estate.
Awesome. Thank you. She has a question. You want to give her the mic?
Just going back to him, what time is better to post especially?
I'm a big believer of if you want to post, you're going to post early, get it out of the way. But as you grow, algorithm grows too, and then the times change.
But it is not a social media class, but he will be doing a social media class, and then make sure you all attend. Thank you, Enrique. All right, so let's get going on today's class. Next one, please. Okay, how many days to the end of the year? I wrote it down here. I have it on my hand. It's 41 days. 41 days to the end of the year.
Enough time.
And that is actually a misleading number, because you'll feel like, oh, 41 days is a lot of days. Not really. Take out, hey, let's focus. 41 days. You have Thanksgiving weekend, which is what? -3 days. You have Christmas, -4 days. You have New Year's. How many days you take for New Year's? I don't know, another 3 days? So you really only have, between 25 and 30 days. And literally the year is over. So basically, we used to do this before, is if you wanna close any more business in 2024, you probably have 4 days to put something under contract. So you have 4 days, maybe 5 days, if you want to close something else this year. If you want to check in your bank account before the end of the year, you have 4 days to do something. And you see, like, if we didn't know how many days in the year, then how do we know that we only have 4 days to actually make money this year? So you have 4 days to figure out what you want to do. Are we doing our last open house of this week of this year to make sure that we get leads to hopefully close something this year? Are we going to post on social media today? Are we going to post that we were here? Are we going to share the newest listing? Are we going to share someone's closing? What are we doing to make sure that someone interacts with us so that we could potentially help them buy or sell a house this year, so that hopefully you get a check, so that hopefully you can maybe buy yourself something for Christmas with that money? Or better yet, invest that money in 2025 to make 2025 your best year. Who's here because they want to make 2025 their best year? All right. So we're on the same page. So now you all know, knowledge is power. You have 41 days, and you theoretically have 4 days to figure something out today so that you guys can put something under contract, get a pre-approved buyer, so you guys can close something this year. Now let's talk about 2025. Go into the next one. Okay, so you guys have to figure out what your goals are for 2025. Now we're done with 2024, okay? Y'all have to accept that. You guys have 4 days, but let's just pretend that now we're next week. We're done with 2024. There's nothing you can do. Unless you're going to do leasing, then leasing you can do business all of December. That's great. But now we got to figure out what you want to do in 2025. Do you guys want to do 5 houses? Do you want to do 10 houses? Do you want to do 50 houses? Do you want to do 30 houses? Do you want to beat my record, 104 houses with no assistant, no TC, no listing agent, no buyer's agent? You should ask me how I did it. I mean, I'm just a regular human like you. I mean, but you just got to work. You got to outwork me. So figure out what your goal is. And then whatever your goal is, you're going to divide it initially by 4. So if it's 100 houses, that means that every 3 months you're going to have a business meeting with yourself and say, hey, we have to hit 25 houses by when? If you're divided by 4, by when? By the end of when? By the end of March. How many days are in March? Huh? Okay, so March 31st, you have to have a meeting with yourself. And if it's only 10 houses a year, divide that by 4. And by the end of March, if you have 0 closings, then you know you're doing terrible. And then you need to change whatever you were doing those 3 months. So if you went on 2 or 3 vacations, probably not good. If you're not coming to the office, probably not good. If you're not going to trainings, probably not good. You have to figure that out. And that's the reason why you break it up into 4. Because if you don't, I've seen so many people say, oh, I want to do 50 homes. And by November they come, you know what, we only sold 4. But next year. But just like how we didn't know how many days were in the year, and we didn't know that we have 4 days left to do business this year, when you don't know, and you just think things are okay, but your checking account tells you it's not okay. So obviously a few keys to success are open houses. Also, not that I'm telling you that the year is over. One silver lining that anyone that calls you right now to buy or sell a house is uberly serious. Nobody is just looking at houses right now because they just want to look at houses. Right now, if they are calling you that they want to buy or sell a house, it's because it's dead serious that, hey, we're looking to buy because we just moved from Texas. Hey, I'm looking to buy because I just got a divorce. Hey, we're looking to buy because we got married last month and we need a house, or we have a baby, or whatever the scenarios are. These are the reasons why right now in the winter, perfect time to have someone buy or sell a house because they are uberly serious. So if you go into a listing appointment and say, hey, we need to sell our house because we're moving out of town, my wife got a new job in England, or my wife got a job in California, then just know this family is really serious they're not just shopping around. This is a great time to revamp your social media. So I would divide that in two buckets. One bucket is the people that don't do social media. And to me, someone that doesn't do social media, someone's not posting. If you're not posting 2 times a week, you're probably not doing social media. So for all you people that fit in that bucket, hey, no harm, no foul, water under the bridge. It's time to revamp your social media. This is a perfect time to meet with Enrique, to meet with an all-day, figure out when the social media classes are happening, and really dig down on, hey, how can I imitate these individuals that are producing at a higher level than me? And this is the time to revamp your social media. This is the time to put a new banner, get a new headshot. I saw that the women Aroa had a headshot but what about the gentlemen Aroa? When are they getting headshots? So this is when everyone has to stand up and be like, hey, we need headshots too. So that way when 2025 comes in, you guys have new headshots. Every time you put a new headshot, it's another way of telling people, hey, I'm in the business of real estate. Right? That's why you guys should update your headshot maybe 3-4 times a year. And it's just another way of selling without selling, which is the best way of selling. So revamp your social media, figure out what you're doing, figure out what other people are doing. To me, I think stories are a game changer. Especially if you connect your Instagram to your Facebook and you just post on Instagram and it goes to your Facebook, done deal. I went from posting maybe 2 or 3 to now maybe sometimes we'd be posting 30, which is a little too much, I think. But you guys can literally follow me like if you're the CIA and be like, okay, Eddie left. He got in his car at this time. He's at the airport. They're de-icing his plane. He's literally now in D.C. He's traveling in a white Range Rover. He's at the event. He's doing the keynote. He's taking pictures, having dinner. He's at the airport. He landed at 1 o'clock in the morning, and now he's in Chicago. That's one extent, right? But there's also the extent of nothing. And if there's nothing and you go dark, how are we supposed to know that you're in the business of real estate? How am I supposed to find you? How am I supposed to know that you're an amazing individual? I can't, because you're hiding yourself. And that also is hero and victim mentality. So revamping your social media is the best 80% that solves your issue of how to be successful in real estate. Now, if you tell me, but Eddie, I don't like taking selfies. I don't take selfies. I don't like taking selfies. I think the first time someone ever asked me to take a selfie, I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll take a picture with you, but I'm just not the guy that's going to post a selfie. That's just not me. I don't know. I just don't like it. Maybe different generation. But hey, if that's your thing, amazing. Post it. But if you don't like taking selfies, then you have to figure out a way to be on social media. If you look at most of my videos that I take, I'm not in them. I'll put my shoes, put that I'm driving around, I'm at the airport, whatever, just showing the audience. But I'm showing people that I'm working today. And that's what you want to get out. That Eddie's working, that Eddie's here, that Eddie's working the dream, that Eddie is working for you, which is my mission. So that I hold myself accountable to you guys. That you know that I'm working as hard as I can to make sure that I build this incredible company for you guys. You guys have to have a message of, I'm working as hard as I can for my clients. That also includes education. That includes branding. That includes open houses. That includes touring other people's houses, closings. being at the office. Every single point that you're doing something with real estate, I don't care if it's for 5 seconds. Do what politicians do. Politicians will show up to an event, literally be there for 5 minutes, but they'll take a picture. And they post that they were there. That's what you should do. Just make sure that you're showing the world what you're doing. Also on social media, I know this ain't a social media class, but make sure you keep the 80-20 rule. 80% of your social media posts should be about your business, and 20% should be about your husband, your wife, your kids, everything else. If it's the other way around, that 80% is personal, then people will think that you're the best mother in the world, but they won't know that you're the best realtor in the country. Make sense? All right. And then this little guy right here, I know Garcia does this, I think, as best as anyone, is she will have events for her clients throughout the year. And that is literally one way to get everyone together and just have conversations with them, check in with them, shake hands, kiss babies, how are you doing, how's your house? Even the thought of just calling clients to invite them is gold, because even if 80% of your clients won't come, you calling all your clients, having an excuse. Remember, now you're not calling to say, hey, you want to buy a house? Hey, you want to sell your house that I just sold you a month ago? You're literally calling them like, hey, Maria, how are you? I just wanted to invite you to this event. Oh, wow, thank you so much. Actually, we can make it. Or actually, we can't make it, but at least you connect with them. Then you say, hey, how's your house going? How's this? How's that? And that's for people that have been closing business for a few years, and you can call all your clients. Doesn't mean you don't have to call your clients that are closing business today or that closed this year. Call the clients that bought a house 6-7 years ago that you haven't called. That's the reason why 70% of people that buy a house with you today will not sell the house with you. Not because you were terrible, but because you never followed up and you never called your clients. Magali, Michelle has a question.
I know, I just want to add to the client events.
All right, but use the mic. Use the mic.
I want to be on camera. So just a lot of people say, like, what if I don't have clients, right? Do a community event, because community events will generate leads for you to then nurture, that will buy later with you or refer clients to you later on. It could be simple things. It can be a buyer seminar, it can be a seller seminar, or it could be like what I do is photos with Santa or photos with the Easter Bunny. Team up with your real estate professionals and do something small. It doesn't have to be a $5,000 event. It can be something super cheap. I always do everything on a very tight budget, because we're not balling out here, but it brings in the community, and people will continue to come to your events and they'll share your stuff too. So people like to work with people who are giving back to the community. Okay, that's it.
And you got ahead of my presentation again. All right.
My bad.
On to the next one. Boom. All right. So if you could read the top, it says the spring market starts now. Yes. And I don't know across the country, but I know that in the Midwest, about 50% of all sales will happen in the spring market. That means that if you miss the spring market, that means if you don't prepare for the spring market, you will literally lose on 50% of your potential production. So that's the reason why right now you guys have 4 days to close anything before the end of this year. And then after that, before you say, oh, okay, I'm going into Thanksgiving mode, I'm going into Christmas mode, I'm going to New Year's mode, I'm going to take the rest of the month off. You can't do that. Because if you do that, you will have a really bad spring market. And if you have a really bad spring market, you will have a really bad 2025. So we're going to talk today about, specifically, we got an amazing individual that came today that's going to talk about expireds and cold calling, because we don't really talk about this. But I want you to talk. I want you to hear about his success that he's having in that field. And this is the time to retool. Just like how I told you, retool your social media. This might be a time to say, hey, I've never done expireds, but this might be the perfect time to do expireds, because you know what the best day for the one day in the year that has the most expireds the whole year is what day? It's January 1st, December 31st, because that's when people do the one-year agreements and they expire. So that's the prime time to call expireds. But we'll get into that in a little bit. And perfect time to re-engage with your clients. Next slide. Okay, this is what Michelle got ahead of me. She probably was cheating and looking at my slides and said, let me get in front of this. Okay, so look, Michelle said if you don't have a budget, you could do it on a low budget. I'll tell you this, you could do it for free. You could do it for free. All it takes is your time. You know why? Because Realty of America already does this for you. It always blew my mind why other people or other teams won't just literally piggyback on what we're doing and for free, because you don't have to pay. The biggest thing is we have this massive Christmas party that we have every year. We have between 1,800 and 2,000 people at a Christmas party with a free open bar, free music, tons of people. They're celebrating their year, and we're celebrating our top producers. Well, we're going to continue to have that event. So we will have another 2,000 person Christmas party, maybe this year with a few people from across the country that'll fly in. So this event here, you can literally call your whole database. And you're going to say, hey, but my people are older. That's a victim mentality. Here we'll say, I don't care if they're old. I'm going to invite them. And if they say no because they're old, I'll let them make that decision, but at least I will connect with them. At least I will use the Ford system now and say, hey, how's your year? How's this? How's the family? What's going on? You're still working there. Awesome. How's the house? Hey, do you know, whatever. Just connect with them so that way you have a meaningful conversation. And then going into the spring market, guess what? When their friends say, hey, we're looking to buy, maybe they will say Tony Matthews. Maybe. But if you do that, if you only call one client, you're probably not going to have success. But if you call 50, 60, 100 people, literally all your clients, hey, I want to invite you to our annual Christmas party, I get you a VIP ticket. You could bring your wife, you could bring your coworkers, literally unlimited tickets. You don't have to pay for it. We pay for it. There is no cost at the door. So you can literally call all your clients and invite them but the point of this is to connect with them, to have a conversation. And I literally, if you were all my clients, I would call all you guys one by one and have meaningful conversations. People are like, Eddie, I see, and if you're doing social media, they will say, Eddie, I see you've been traveling the country. I'm so proud of what you're doing. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Da-da, 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 da. Now, you don't have any clients. That's amazing. You call all your friends. You call all your friends that have jobs. You call all your friends that are married. Now you call them and say, hey, Amanda, I would love to invite you to our annual Christmas party. Hey, Peter, I would love to invite you to our Christmas party. It's this day. Now also, you're not going to do that the day before the party. You want to start doing that now. Start having a conversation with your friends. And even if your friends say, nah, I don't want to go, because we go on a cruise that week, but at least you talk to them. How are you doing? Remember I told you on your schedule, set up a lunch, set up a dinner. Hey, we should get up. If it's a really good conversation, hey, I just got a job at PwC, blah, blah, blah. You know, man, these people are making, $200,000, $100,000. Hey, we should have lunch. We should have dinner. That's being a leader. That's being the mindset of a boss. And being strategic with your time, because your time is very valuable. Set up meetings. Okay, great. Boom. Hey, you are coming. And then let's say that you call 50 people. Only 10 come. That's 10 people you're going to hang out with. At the Christmas party, now you hang out with them. I always told people that the Christmas party is not a fun event. You can have two buckets. Hey, I'm going to get super drunk, and I want to get carried out. And Freddie pick me up in the limo and call it a day. Or you could be a business person and use this as a launch for your spring market. And you bring your 15 best friends that have jobs, hopefully. And then you bring them to the party. You make sure they get the VIP experience. You make sure that maybe you ask management, hey, can I get a table? I want to get bottle service. I want to bring my 15 people. And you just hang out with them. It's literally, instead of having 15 dinners, you have one night to hang out with them. Rent a party bus. If you don't want to rent a party bus, that's fine. Uber there, whatever you want to do, and just have a good time for them. You're hosting them. That's what I do. I'm hosting my agents. I'm hosting my friends and family. I'm hosting ex-clients. I'm hosting attorneys. I'm hosting people, and I'm literally hanging out with them. How are you doing? What do you need? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay, what's going on? What's up next? My Christmas party is a job the whole day till like 2 in the morning. So you guys have to treat it again. Do you want to have uber fun on one side, or do you want to treat this as a business? Also, too, the ones that are in relationships, tell your boyfriend, hey, you know what? You're going to hang out right there. You build your business. I want to build my business. Because again, like y'all can have a dinner date some other time. This is a time where this is going to be free for you. And then you guys have a great time. People get to see the culture. People see like, hey, I love where you work. And then they're going to post on social media, all your 15, 20 people. And then people on social media like, man, what party was that? Man, that was my girl's Christmas party. It was crazy. Like they know how to party. All right, well, who's your realtor? Oh, really? Okay, let me connect with her on social media. And boom. Why? I mean, if you invited me to an amazing Christmas party, I had a great time, I would be like, man, I went to this crazy Christmas party. I put it on my social media. Like my realtor is thebomb.com. So that would be that. Thanksgiving, I would call people. It's not too late. It's Monday. Hey, you know, we're going to have this community event. We're going to be feeding thousands of people. You should come out. You should call your local churches, your local boys club, your local girls club, your local nonprofits. Like all those people that you know that are really like the community leaders in your neighborhood, call them. Hey, do you know someone that needs turkeys? Because I guarantee you we'll have extra turkeys. Can I take? And then you're also blessing other people now. Putting it on social media. I don't know who has not shared the turkey event on social media, but shame on you. You should be sharing it on social media. You should be proud of being a company that focuses on giving back to the community. And this is our first national event. So that is turkey. Now, obviously, you saw the Friendsgiving. That's me doing the same thing that you guys are doing. Bringing all of us together, breaking bread. For the ones that joined us for Friendsgiving, it was an incredible event. It was super packed. We had a lot of food, a lot of dessert. Karaoke was... Lorraine did an incredible job. I was like, man, she's like a celebrity. You know, I was very disappointed that nobody rapped. I was waiting for a rap. You know, I was like, all right, this is the year. But I wanted it true. You know, like Kanye West. I was waiting for a Purdue Carter to come in and be like, all right, put that Kanye West, let's go. You know, something. But hopefully next year. You know, one thing that has worked very, very well is you give out pies. You can literally go to Jewel, you go to Costco, buy like inexpensive $5, $7 pies, $8 pies, Food for Less, whatever those stores are, buy 100. That's $700, $400, $500. And you literally just, you know, make a nice little card, put a nice little bow, and you call people. Hey, I want to deliver this pie to you. Think about that, Brenda. You deliver pies on 2 days. You know, and you deliver pies across the city. If to your clients, people that bought 3 years ago, 4 years, who cares? You're reestablishing your relationship. I guarantee you that we all have been guilty. 99% of people here and probably watching across the U.S. is that they've been guilty of not following up with their clients. So if you did that, no harm, no foul, perfect time to reconnect with them right now in the holidays because you're not selling them a house. Hey, I just wanted to give you this pie. Boom. And guess what? You show up to the house, they already sold it because it might have happened. They already sold it with somebody else. Hey, well, you know what? My client used to live here, but bam. Here you go. Okay. And the New Year, you know, I've never done a New Year party, but this is the first year that I will be in Chicago this year because, you know, typically if you followed me, every year after Christmas party, I fly to Bangkok and I hang out there for 45 days. I go see my elephant and I take care of myself. And it's literally like a way for me to decompress, hang out, refocus for the new year. But because I gave my commitment to thousands of people across the country, I have not taken a vacation and I will not be taking a vacation to Thailand this year. Because again, my Uber commitment to seeing this through and making this company great is unwavering. So I'm going to figure out if I do a New Year's Eve party or what I'm gonna do. But this is now again, right, a boss leader. Hey, what am I thinking? What am I doing? Because I'm like, hey, I have not been in America and celebrated New Year's in 5-6 years. That is like foreign to me because I always traveled. So this is the first time that I will be spending Thanksgiving here, Christmas, and now New Year's. So I got to figure out. Oh, so we're gonna be doing a big toy drive. We did that last year where Liz and the team, put it up and gave hundreds of toys to kids. So, and giving toys to kids is inexpensive. Also, too, one thing that we didn't talk about is, okay, I showed you how to do it for free. Now I'm going to show you how to do it for free again. You literally get with a lender or an attorney or somebody, and I'd be like, hey, Javier, like, hey, you know what? Why don't we give toys out to the kids? It's going to cost us $500. You're down? I'll do half, you do half, and we just bless others. This is the time if you wanted to bless anybody. Look, I don't know what you guys are going through, but I know that you guys look healthy. Your families hopefully are healthy. You guys are here, and you guys probably made some money this year. So, hey, if you guys can give a little back, right, pay it forward, this would be the time. Because there's a lot of families out there that are hurting. They're probably not doing as good as us. So there's a time, even if you do something where you're giving away 50 toys, 100 toys, we're going to give out probably, I don't know, because I go crazy. Once I get involved, then I'm like, all right, let's do 1,000 kids. Let's go. Boom. Now we got this event space. So, I'll be doing a toy drive, not a toy drive, but a toy giveaway. This is just me thinking, right? On top of everything that I'm doing, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to be here for Christmas. I want to do something, bring a Santa Claus, bring a Christmas tree. If you know me, you know the way I roll. So, maybe you guys can help us with this one. You guys invite people. I don't take registrations. It's just literally just to give back and bless other people. So these are ways that you can literally prime time, grow your business without talking about real estate, grow your brand. And all these events, if you do it the right way, can all help with social media, right? Because all these are major events, promoting the event, posting the event, the after the day event. I mean, you have so much content here that you guys can grow your business. And then again, if we're launching to spring market, that's what we're doing here, right? We understand that the 2024 is over. 2025 is here. What are you guys doing? Just like my mindset for the company is for us, it was always to have all systems operational for 2025 for Realty of America. To have the states we want to be in, that's our focus. Our goal is to have everything ready before Christmas. So that way all the leaders can enjoy Christmas. So we're working uberly hard to open the states, build SOPs, do all these things to make sure that, hey, we're ready to handle the influx of agents. Because once we open all those other states, there's tons of agents coming in. So you guys have to do the same thing for your business. 2025 is the year that hopefully if you do it right, you will have a great 2025. Go on to the next one. Okay. Now, we're going to bring in our guest for today. But before he comes over, I'm going to tell you what he's done. This man has made 10,000 phone calls. Not 1,000. That's not a typo. 10,000 phone calls. He's gotten 50 listings. And the listings have ranged from 150,000 to 2 million. And this man knew nothing of real estate. And this man, I remember when he had not gotten his license, and I was like, bro, why don't you have your license? Oh, I went to Cancun, and I was hanging out, and I was like, bro, don't go to Cancun. Focus on your license. There's greatness to be had. And then in 2 years, this is what he's been able to do. So give him a hand, Israel Valadez. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Eddie.
Uh,
Sorry about that.
Israel.
Crazy,
Israel.
right?
This is on. Yeah. Okay, Israel. Israel's not the guy that's gonna have a selfie probably either. He's probably like me. You do take selfies?
No.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. He don't take selfies. And I asked him hey, can you come here? I'm sure he was a little nervous, but I was like, bro, when the boss calls you, I mean, you can't say no, right? Come on. Because, I told him, hey, I'll owe you a favor. Come and bless others, pour into others. And if you do that, Like, if you ever need something, call me. When I owe you a favor, I'm in debt, so I can't say no either. So if you ever want to use my, my Lambo or something, I don't know, maybe call me and think about it. Yeah. But he has a super nice car. It's funny because I kept seeing this orange, amazing Corvette outside, and I was like, bro, who keeps parking here? I was like, and then I was, it's a brand new one, so I was like, man, that's a crazy orange, like, beautiful Corvette. I actually wanted to order a Corvette before. But and I was like, who keeps parking here? Black rims. Or I was like, man, some rich guy. And then I was like, I'm trying to be nice, right? Because I'm not trying to, disturb the community. And then finally, I remember I told my assistant, I was like, man, who's that guy keeps parking here? We're gonna have to tow him. Because he was almost always here from day to night. And then finally, someone tells me like, hey, do you know Israel bought? That's his car. I was like, bro, that's his car. Like, he doesn't even post it on social media. I was like, that's crazy. So, anyways, congrats on your car. So you want to talk a little bit about this? Not the script, but just talk about, what got you into it? Why'd you do it? Why did you do this versus something else? Just tell us about the dream.
Okay, so the dream started way back during COVID, right? I was working. I wasn't working, actually. I think I was just. I was just living life, and I have some experience in sales, though. I worked in Geek Squad and Best Buy when that was a thing a long time ago. And then I sold insurance for a few years after that. But I never really became good or dedicated to becoming a salesperson, broker type of, man. But I think it was in 2021 when I think a politician here in Berwyn needed some recruits, some volunteers to campaign for them, win the election, make sure that they win, right? And so they called me. It's like, hey, we need some guys to work for us. And I said, how much are you paying? Like, nothing, but it's an opportunity. And so I took it because I heard that if you hang around, your inner circle, you are the result of the 5 people you hang by, right? And at the time, my buddies were just, like me, regular, people, and I wanted to just see what else was out there. And so I did. I became a volunteer. I came from the north side of Chicago to Berwyn every day. I didn't get paid. I would knock on doors and just call voters from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day for 4 months for several campaigns. The mayor of Berwyn, the treasurer that was coming in, and I think 5 aldermen, and everybody won. So that was cool. That was cool. So I didn't get paid for that. It was all just volunteer work. But one of them was like, hey, Israel, you're pretty good at this. I think that you can do something else, besides what you're doing now. And so that's kind of where my foot got into real estate, because somebody in that circle just happens to know Eddie, the boss man himself. And so that's
Hey, and then I want to make sure I make this clear. He knew nothing of real estate as of 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, 2.5 years ago. So 2.5 years ago, and then he came in to get, right, to be able to now to get all these listings, all this production. So tell us, okay, so that's the background. Thank you for sharing
Okay,
the background.
yep.
But now tell us why did you do expireds versus going on social media or?
Okay, so my first year, I did try to work with buyers, open houses, and that avenue, right? The tried and true, I call that the tried and true, because it works for a lot of people. But in my case, I'm very introverted, so it didn't work for me. And so I was Googling and YouTubing, and I figured, hey, this guy on YouTube does this, so maybe I can do it too. And so I just copied what that guy did, and I was really bad. I was terrible. I was really bad. I got in trouble because you can easily get in trouble by soliciting business if you do it the wrong way. And so you want to do it right from the very beginning to avoid any issues that may come up. And so that's my first advice to you. My first golden nugget is that just be ethical and just follow the rules, be nice.
So a few rules, right? You cannot call anyone on the do not call registry. That's one thing. The second thing is that if there's a listing that's already listed, you cannot call, knock, you can't mail anyone that has a listing that it's already listed by another broker. What we're talking here is about listings that went expired, that didn't sell, and now you've been in real estate for 2.5 years?
Yeah.
but 1 year you tried traditional real estate. So this what we're looking at is a year and a half worth of work.
As of May of last year.
Okay, as of May of last year, that's his numbers, and that's what he's done. So again, and what I love about him, a hero and victim mentality, is that he tried everything else, but he could have gave up and said, hey, you know what, real estate's not for me. You know what, just real estate's too hard. You know what, I'm gonna go work at this corporate job because it's an easy way out, because in 7 days I'll get paid. But then this young man said, nope, I gotta figure out a way to succeed. And I'm sure that he has some dark days. I'm sure he had a year and a half with no income. Plus, he worked for politicians for 4 months, no income. So almost 2 years without income, and now he figured out a way to now be successful, to buy himself a nice car, to have now some money in his pocket, and live the life that he wants to live. So let's talk about expired. So what's your strategy when you see expireds?
When I see an expired, you want to make sure it stays expired. That's the first thing. The second thing is you want to
What
find
does
out
it mean, stays expired?
that you
You
go.
tell it, stay there.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
it
Remember,
stays there.
hey, remember
Yeah,
one thing
yeah.
is when you're teaching, they know, this is new to them. So to you, you live and breathe it for all this time. So what is that? Just break it down to
Okay,
us.
so on your MLS, when you go to the listing and property history, sometimes they cancel and relist it, so it's new, or it expires and it becomes reactivated, right? You want to make sure that that's not the case, that it stays canceled, that it stays expired for
So
that
what
listing.
he's saying is that before you call an expired, just look at the property history to make sure that it hasn't expired and reactivated, 3 or 4 times back to back, because some agents use that as a strategy to get more attention. So I would knock those out. The other thing he's saying is make sure that it's just expired for, that it's not going to be reactivated. So that way when you call them, you're not calling someone that's like, hey, this listing's still active with me. I'm just reactivating it tomorrow. But
Yes, and then it's not just you who's calling them. So once you find their information, you find the name of the owner, or maybe you find their name and number, you call them, but they tell you, hey, Alex, hey, Michelle.
hold on, because this is a big nugget right
Okay,
here.
sorry.
You're
Yeah.
just trying to hide the nuggets.
Okay,
I'm
so-
here to take the nuggets out.
Okay.
So you find their number. It's like you tell me, all right, find the number. Like, well, how am I supposed to find this number? What service do you use to find the number?
It's a service that you're already paying for, all of you. It's Forewarn. The app, you've heard of it? Who's heard of it? Raise your hand. Forewarn. Yes.
Forewarn. Is that
Forewarn.
FOREWARD?
Yes, sir.
So, huh? And at the
And,
end.
yeah, and,
So forewarn, I seen that women will use this app in some mails just to make sure that when they call somebody or someone calls them, they make sure it's not like a bad person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the criminal
You could-
record,
yeah, it's like a background check, basically.
background check, yeah. Okay, so this app, what does it do?
It also gives you their telephone numbers, previous addresses, properties they may own or have sold, and vehicle information too.
And then how much is this app?
It's free.
It's free.
Free 99 to agents.
Okay, awesome. So it's free, forewarned. All right, great. Now you get the information, now what do you do?
And then I call the first number because it's from the most recent or most active number to then like the second most probable number. So the first number is probably their number. You call them, and then let's say it's Tom, right? Tom is the owner of the house on Euclid. Like, hey Tom, it's Israel. I just saw your place came off the market earlier today at 6 a.m. over on Euclid. I don't mean to bother you, but I wanted to ask you if you still plan on putting it for sale or putting it back, on the market. And then Tom would tell me, Israel, you know what? I'm not in charge of that. It's actually my wife. And so I'm just like, okay. So I would ask, well, I don't want to bother her, right? But is she there? Is she can you pass the phone? And he'll just kindly tell me, like, no, it's okay. Just call back later. And that's fine, So that's where I left it off in the beginning, right? But now, fast forward, there are so many resources and tools out there that are almost scary because it's not just their information, it's also like your own. It's crazy how much of our info is out there. And so I found Tom's wife, basically. I found I found her number. And then, and so you would just do the same search for Tom you would do for Tom's wife. Let's say her name is Clarissa, right? And so I would call Clarissa a few hours later, so it's not obvious that, and I would, if she answers, I would then give my pitch. And
So what's your pitch?
It's, hey, I saw your place was for sale. And believe it or not, in this case, I had context. I spoke with your husband, Tom, earlier. He told me you're the boss, you're the person in charge. And so I figured it would be okay to bother you if that's all right. And so saying it like that, just being very casual, but just also disclosing that you're a professional, you're a broker, gives you some credibility. Because believe it or not, it's not just you that's calling them. You're probably not the first person. There's always a crazy person out there calling them at 6 a.m. You know, I dial around 10 or 11. And so they would say, yeah, you know what, I am in charge. And so I have been thinking about putting it back. And I ask if they want to relist it with a new agent or brokerage, you know, if they've thought about that. Because it's been on the market for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, it didn't sell. And when I ask, sometimes they say yes. And so they invite me for an interview. But it's not just myself, it's myself and sometimes like another agent there from some other brokerage and another agent from another brokerage. So it's very competitive. And lately, right, our close rate has been almost at 100%. Just from June till now. So just looking at that window. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
So I'm assuming that last year your close rate was very low.
Yes.
Okay, so what changes did you implement? Remember what we talked about? If you break up your goals into quarters and you start seeing, hey, I did bad this quarter, I did better this quarter, and you start figuring out, if I did bad, what am I doing wrong? You know, you never learn from a win, you always learn from a loss. So what he's saying is that he was learning from all his losses. Every time he went to a listing appointment, he didn't get it. You have to figure out, what did I do wrong and what can I do better? That's the hero mentality. A victim mentality, open houses don't work. Listings don't work. Real estate doesn't work for me. The world hates me. He said, nope, even though I keep getting a no, 10,000 phone calls. That means they hung up on him 9,950 times probably. So, you know, he's okay with that. So you have to be okay with the rejection if you want the promised land. So now tell me, what changes did you make in your script? You said being casual. You said calling around 10 in the morning. You already showed us about the app that you use to get the client information. Obviously, we all have access to the MLS, so we know how to get the expireds. We already know that the number one day for expireds is going to be December 31st and January 1st. So yes, for the people that are going to be celebrating New Year's, y'all going to have great time. But some of us are going to be working at 10 in the morning, calling people very casually, having conversations on, hey, do you want to, I saw that your house got expired. Are you planning on selling it? But, you know, give us the script.
Yeah, so it's very simple. You know, it's like, hey, is this Clarissa? Yes. Okay, hey, well, my name's Israel. I'm actually a broker here in Berwyn. I didn't mean to bother you, but I saw your place on Euclid was for sale. And then I think around 6 a.m. today, you know, it's an expired. It came off the market. I wanted to ask you if you plan on putting it back for sale, is your agent putting it back? And then, but it doesn't open ended question, because by asking that question, I asked Clarissa if she's putting it back for sale, or you know, if she still has interest in selling it. And so if she says yes, or she says no, that means her agent, you know, may not put it back. They maybe changed their mind on selling their property. So I then just interject with, well, you know, sometimes it's just the marketing or some factor that we don't know of, where that didn't cause it to sell. And sometimes just relisting it with a new agency does help it sell, and it does.
How do you sell yourself? Do you say, hey, we're gonna have to do professional photography, we're gonna do drones, we're gonna do this? Do you talk about like, hey, the listing had no photos, they only had one photo, they had cell phone photos?
I say that.
Do you say that, or you wait for the listing appointment?
I wait for the appointment because it gives mystery. You gotta have some sort of mystery. If you just lay it all out, they already know, and you don't want that to happen, because once they know, they'll call the same agent they had and they'll give them the bread and butter we just gave them, and then it'll sell. You know, a house sometimes may not sell for the smallest of reasons. Sometimes, as an agent, it's hard to make a mistake with the property tax PIN. And so you go to the tax information, let's say it's 2011, you know, Wesley, right? And you click the tax PIN, and a different address pops up. You know, it's not 2011 Wesley, it's some other random address where the agent made a mistake with the PIN. So the tax info didn't line up with the actual numbers. And so that's why it wasn't shown. And
What
then,
he's talking about is that he would have, let's say it's a 2011 North Wesley versus 2011 South Wesley, and now the taxes are 11,000, but the taxes are only 4,000.
yeah,
Right? If you correct the tax, then that's just like, hey, I can sell this house. And what he was talking about is that he doesn't tell all the golden nuggets to the client over the phone, because then they would just tell their agent, hey, you know what? You got to fix the taxes, order some photography, get me a drone. We're going to declutter the house because I just spoke to somebody, and sell the house because we need it sold. So what he's talking about is like, hey, he gets the appointment. At the appointment, he gives his value proposition, and he wants to close the listing there and then.
yeah, I set the appointment. And then I give them all the information, then we list it.
But you want to send the listing at their house?
Yeah, at their house, yeah.
Okay. Remember that my two-step process is when people that know me and love me, right, that have been referred to me. This is people that don't know you, that don't love you, that have not been referred to you. These might be the most hostile listing appointments, because majority of the time, if their house didn't sell, they're upset with their agent. And if they're upset with their agent, they're upset with all realtors, because they feel that realtors don't do their job. So in this scenario, you're going into a different world, but it's a world that you got 50 listings from $150,000 to $2 million, all over the spectrum, and he's able to put money in his pocket. Any last minute, anything else you want to
I
share?
kind of want to go on, but I mean, I don't know.
All right.
Okay,
Training.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got to share one golden nugget that he hasn't shared yet.
He-
When they tell you no, you always do something. You always tell them like,
All right. So what do you do when they tell you no? How do you pivot?
I get ear hustling, y'all.
Okay, that's a great question. So I just tell them, so no, you're not putting it for sale now, or no, you're not listing it at the moment. Do you plan on selling it next month, next week? I don't mean to be like, asking too much. That's what I would say. Too many questions, but I just want to know.
So
And
what that's called is a pivot. Remember how I told you 2 weeks ago or a week ago that, hey, you should go into the mindset that they're going to tell you no? Because if they tell you no, you already have a game plan B. If you go into a meeting thinking they're going to tell you yes, and when they tell you no, you're shocked, like, okay, I guess let me call somebody else then. So you should already go with the mindset they're going to tell you no. But you know what? Also, what you have to figure out is, or at least listen, is look at his tone, look at his cadence, look at how he's talking. Very cool, calm, collected. He's not talking like a salesperson, almost like the neighbor next door. And that's what he's talking about. Very nonchalant, just like, hey, are you planning on putting your house in the market? I saw that it just came off, et cetera, et cetera. That's what he's talking about. So it's that's where I would uber focus on. But the first thing you got to do is, if you want to do this, you got to look at expireds. If you want to do this, start doing it at 10 in the morning. You want to do this, start scripting and start calling. And you're going to have to make a lot of phone calls, but you will get listings. So you could get 10 listings from this. And then if you're really good, then you get 2 deals out of that listing. Because now you'll have open houses every weekend. You don't have to do someone else's open houses. You focus on your open houses. You post it on social media. And you get more buyers. And now those 10 deals turn into 25 deals. So anything else you want to add before we
Yeah, like everything, right? There's a learning curve, so just be aware that in the beginning it's going to be slow, how it is for everyone, right? When you don't know, but as you go and get better, it's going to feel more comforting, and you'll feel more confident, and that's going to show itself. You're going to convey that newfound like confidence over the phone too, with your clients. And then I want to share with you guys a math equation real quick that my buddy who works at a bank, his like GM told him this, and once he learned this equation, it's like very simple. His branch became like one of the top 3 in the north side of Chicago at Citibank. So it's A times E equals results, and so you're like, hey, so what's A and what's E? And so it's your action, right? The amount of action, the effort you put in, times your effectiveness equals your results. And so as maybe in the beginning, his effectiveness, his E was not that high because he was brand new, a little baby, right, in the business. But his action was high because he really wanted to achieve his goal. As time went on and he kept putting high action into it, his E naturally became higher. He became a lot more effective. So his results just compounded. And so that's how you should approach everything. Be very active and effective, and the rest should carry you.
Thank you. We gotta go. Okay. Hey, hold on. He will be having a training that we'll be scheduling, so that way you can look out where? On our community page.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Eddie.
All right. Is there any questions? Make sure you give my guy the mic.
Just regarding that, he missed another golden nugget. His follow-up game. He doesn't just call the expired today and then let the expired tell him no. And he tells them, can I call you back in 30 days or 60? I'm sorry. Dang it. Okay. Izzy, you didn't give yourself enough credit. His follow-up game is like on point, okay? I sit at the office and I hear him make calls and I cringe every time because I do not cold call or expired call or whatever. I'm allergic, but I hear him call all the time, and this kid is like remarkable. If they tell him no, like, no, I'm not ready to list, whatever, it's not like he's never gonna call them again. His follow-up game, he has a list of all his calls and he follows up and he's consistent with that. So it's not just with your buyers and your sellers, right, that you already have a relationship with that you have to follow up with. It's the ones that you have to nurture, and he nurtures his expireds that way.
You're so kind, Michelle, and that's true. Follow-up is the other side of the coin, right? Yeah, so real quick before we transition again, but follow-up is like the other side of the coin. So one side is like pure cold calling, and then the other side is building up a pile. Like, you got to make a separate list of like warm leads and hot leads. So you call the cold leads first to build your pile. That's the effect of the E, right? That I spoke about, the E. And then the hot pile is like the E. And then once you call them, you'll have like back-to-back listing apps. And I'm seeing that now too. In the beginning, I'd get like one listing app once every 2 months. Last week, I listed 4 new listings. My most recent one was earlier today. So, you know, it's like just like it, like right now, I'm in the beginning of something that I didn't think would be, you know, kind of cool to see witness to grow. And a part of that is also with the follow-up. So don't neglect your follow-ups. Don't neglect your leads, your past leads. Michelle was so true, you know, so.
All right, and then remember that you guys all have this incredible CRM called Close. Give it to me, Gali.
Oh,
So that way you guys can use that, and the sooner you use that, the sooner you're going to be in a better position. All right, now we're going to end this. And questions, comments, concerns? Any questions? All right, so just friendly reminder that Monday is our turkey giveaway. We're looking for tons of volunteers, so remember, 12 o'clock if you want to join the turkey train, and 4 o'clock if you want to go help an office. And then now let's just take a quick photo and then we're done. Can we get the people in the back to come to the front? All right, and then Magali.